Hi everybody, as the one that didn't follow the first episode, I'm Sébastien Begri. I invite you to watch the previous video about my background, from my education to my inspiration background. And this episode is going to be about Japan, as I was saying that I've been invited to Tokyo last month in May 2024 to meet some partner in the CBD industry, and also to dive into the journey of what I found out that Japan has one of the oldest history regarding cannabis. That is something that I've been exploring while doing my business journey. So I arrived in Tokyo on the 6th of May. I took an hotel in Akihabara, which is the main district for manga mania. So that's where you will find all the figurines, all the mangas, all the retro gaming, all the cards, Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z. For people who are into the manga culture, those names will be familiar. And it's also kind of a trademark of Japan, as Japan have promoted his culture through Japanese anime since the 60s. Actually, around the world, a lot of people have been familiar with Japanese culture without even knowing it, because in those manga, a lot of their inspiration of the authors is from the Shinto culture. So that's why it's a lot about superpower, superheroes, and extraordinary stories, which often have been inspired by Shinto stories, which is very profound in Japan. So in that context, I got to meet a good friend of mine, Takuya-san, who is the founder of CBD Library. CBD Library, it's a platform online in Japan that reference all the different shops who sell CBD products around Japan. And he also have like a lot of knowledge, not just from the industry, but also from the culture, as being Takuya is an entrepreneur, but also an activist. So he gave me also an introduction of the different aspects regarding the business, but also regarding the histories. So in that meeting, actually was very interesting, as we briefly talk about this connection between cannabis and Shinto culture. So actually I got a rope from him. This is a hemp rope, so this is made of cannabis, and that's actually those type of rope that were used back in the days before the 20th centuries for selling sheep. So to build the rope, to build the sails. And he told me a funny anecdote that actually these ropes are being used to be put around certain tree or certain rocks to remove the evil spirit. So as my first day in Japan, I had quickly dive into this connection between cannabis and Shinto religion. And he told me also about this museum that is like 2 hours from Tokyo, in Nasu. There is actually a whole place where they explain the different association with cannabis in Shinto culture, also in Japan tradition. So I will explain you a little bit more as I gather some books, some artifacts, and so on. But as first journey and first introduction to Japanese culture, I really wanted to experience the life in Tokyo with all his good and madness, because Tokyo is a very fun city. So as a good tourist and as a big fan of, I'm a martial artist. I practice Aikido for several years. So one of the first things I wanted to experience also is to know more about this samurai and ninja culture. So I went to the Samurai Ninja Museum, where it was very interesting, not only to see those swords in real life, to see those armor and all the traditional equipment of a samurai, but there was also a part of the history. And in that history, they were telling a very nice actually a real life story, which is about related to the movie The Last Samurai. So for the people who've seen this movie with Tom Cruise, it turned out that this foreign general that came to Japan to help the last samurai to stand against the firearm and what will become the Meiji period of modern Japan. It turned out that this foreign general that came to help those samurais was not an American. He was actually a Frenchman called Jules Brenier, and he was dispatched by the French government to go to Japan in 1867, and it was him who gave training from the modern art of militaries that was very prominent in Europe to the traditional way of fighting of samurai. So I was not expecting this story as I came into the museum, because of course as a Japanese enthusiast, I watched The Last Samurai, and now I didn't know that it was actually a French general that came to help those people, those samurais protecting the shogun. And so that was my first initiation to this Edo period, which is back in the shogunate, where all the samurai were having this big role. And also the anecdote is that some of the armor of the samurai were also using hemp fiber to build the armor, so to connect all the different pieces of the armor and to be able to protect strongly the samurai in the battlefield. So then after I continue my touristic journey, so I did the tea ceremony. So the tea ceremony was also very interesting to experience because it's all about the Zen culture. So it's a very minimalist approach of drinking tea with a lot of different protocol strictly being followed, which kind of give also the mindset of Japanese culture and behavior. As in Europe, people are always moving fast, or modern society in general is very active. When you come into a tea ceremony, suddenly you feel like time is being stopped, and that was also a moment of reflection where of course I had to wear the kimono, take that time of the drinking the tea. I also experienced that there was something where in Japan they really pay attention to detail, and that's why when I see so much cannabis artifact being present in Japanese histories, I mean it cannot be a coincidence, and for sure they were using it on purpose, as they are very focused on details, so there was no coincidence there. So it was very also interesting to get introduced into this traditional practice. And so from there I still went on my touristic journey about the traditional Japan. As I practice Aikido, I had to go to one of the first tailor of Aikido Akama. So Akama is kind of a dress, so that's what you can see here. It's of course folded, but it should be wear and as that's the traditional wear for nobility or for everyday practice. And I ask specifically to have it brought here. It's mean Cannabis Samurai, because of my journey I feel like it's kind of a mission in a way to tell the people about this ancient story which has been forgotten, and which unfortunately people have a lot of misconception about cannabis, and the fact that we can find cannabis in one of the countries where this plant is most prohibited in terms of smoking joint and let's say the recreational. They have a strong link with the sacrament. Also, that kind of set my journey into this new venture of finding out more about cannabis in Japan. So after experiencing the traditional Japan from the Samurai Ninja Museum, from the tea ceremony, I also went in the modern Japan. So I went to an investigation to see where CBD is being sold. So I went to one of the main shop in Japan, Don Quixote. It's like those big buildings with 6 floors where you can find anything you want, from food to manga figurines to clothes to suitcase. Everything is there, and they have also then a section with CBD products. So it really looked like it's on the mainstream. There was a big corner with vaping product, with CBD oil, capsules. They even have next to the alcohol section some little, they call it weed shot. So it was very interesting to see how they really try to bind CBD DRF product directly into the mass consumption market. So it was very indicative that there is actually a trend and I guess a demand, but that's also something that I wanted to find out more. So after visiting a few of those vape shop also, so I went to specialized cannabis shop, which was also very funny because they were selling all kind of vaping product, the classic one like we sell with Golden Buds and Canna Vape, but they were also selling substantial weed. So it was like in a glass jar, and it was algae spray with, I guess, some new cannabinoids on it. And it was very funny because they tried to sell this as weed, and I look at it, I was like, this doesn't look like weed, it looks like algae. And actually I talking with the seller, he said, yeah, it's algae, because even so they have CBD product massively distributed in Japan, they still forbidden the use of the flower. So all CBD must come from seed and stalk at the moment. And in the meantime, there is an actual law being putting into force, which will come out in April 2025. So right now there is a whole discussion about the regulating cannabis in its all aspect, which will include the use of the flower, which is a big thing and a major step forward. But we will see if we follow each other. By next year I will be able, maybe before, to tell you more about it, as I'm working also with some Japanese partners who are highly involved in that process. So I was gladly surprised that there is an actual CBD market in Japan, where there is a space to actually introduce novelty and the culture around it. And as I follow reggae music since a young age, as I said in the first episode, I've been inspired by Peter Tosh in his song Legalize It. I also have a lot of friends in Japan that are really big into reggae music. For the people who know reggae, one of the biggest reggae sound system called Mighty Crown, the Far East Rulers, they are actually based in Yokohama. It's like 45 minutes, an hour from Tokyo. And so I met some of my friends there, and they invited me to come to a reggae sound system, where I was like amazed because the culture was really deep in terms of like vinyl selector, vinyl collectors. It was very interesting. I went to this club called Open, reggae club, dub club especially. And on the next day, one of my DJ friends brought me to a record shop, which was like one of the best record shop I ever seen in my life. I guess in Japan it's common, but everything was classified just like in the library. And this was very interesting for me because, as I say, like reggae music has always been promoting the use of cannabis through the Rastafari spirituality. And it looks like in Japan, even so it's very prohibited to smoke ganja, they do and continue to promote this whole aspect of reggae music with Rastafari and the ganja. And that's actually why it's kind of very intriguing, because there is a part that is really well accepted in Japan. They can fill up baseball stadium just with reggae music, which is some things you can only see during summer festival in Europe. And somehow it seems that Japanese connect with the message of Rastafari, which looks very similar to Shinto in the sense that it's about nature and being one in oneness with your nature and human, and to try to live this lifestyle through everyday life. And from there, that I will tell you in the next episode, I had the chance to go to Nikko. Nikko is the temple where Tokugawa Ieyasu, the first shogun that pacified all Japan, was there, and I got to experience and see from my own eyes those religious artifacts linked with cannabis, which was very interesting. And I will invite you to watch this next episode so you can see what it's all about. I will tell you also a little bit more about what is about Japan. I got all this interesting book with all this connection where symbols and garments and religious artifacts come together as a foundation of the Japanese culture with cannabis. And don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.